Okay, another drive along video. Heading south of the interstate today, so got plenty of time to do a little video or a couple. So this first one, we're going to talk about, well, first off, I'm going to point, see, I think it's pointing this way. Got some videos over Economic Preppers. We talked about the gold standard, and I also talked about how gold came to be money, but I think it would be important today. Where's that strange reflection coming from? That's weird. Huh. Don't know where that's light coming from. Sorry about that on the screen. I can't figure it out. So we'll move on. Okay. So today I want to talk to you about why, let's bring it to crypto here because we're on the crypto channel. So I talked to you about how gold became money. And now I'm going to talk about how Bitcoin is a better form of gold and how Bitcoin became known as digital gold. So, okay, first we go over the properties of money. The properties of money that I talked about yesterday. Well, first off, you got divisibility. Divisibility, gold could be sliced up, could be minted or stamped into coins. That, is there a possibility of counterfeiting? Yes, but for the most part, you can divide up gold, stamp into coins, and it got to be certainly divisible. But even an ounce of gold now, $2,000, it's kind of expensive. So, okay, so now that's where silver would come into the market, being a lower priced precious metal. But with Bitcoin, because it's infinitely divisible, and some people would say, well, wait a minute, there's only eight decimal places. Today, there's only 8 decimal places. That's how it was designed. So that's where the 100 million Satoshis equals 1 Bitcoin. So the last decimal places is one Satoshi, for those who don't know. And for the reason I go over this stuff is not everybody watches every video that I make. So some of these will be a little bit repetitive, especially if you've been here around the space for a while. Could be a refresher, great. If not, sorry if you heard it before, but maybe you pick up with something new or if it's a refresher. But I'm going off the top of my head. Number one, Bitcoin is infinitely divisible, and it's got 8 decimal places. And if ever Bitcoin gets to a point where it's $100 million per Bitcoin, which would make 1 Satoshi equal to $1, they would vote and they would add more decimal places because it's not a big deal to add more decimal places at all. You can get 10, 12, 15, doesn't matter. And at that point, you'd probably have to come up with a new term beyond Satoshi. If you added 3 more decimal places, like a millisatoshi, centisatoshi, they got to come up with some better name than Sats. But I digress. So divisibility, Bitcoin wins divisibility. Security. Anyone who's ever seen people try to move gold or understand how difficult it is, both with the weight, portability, that's another issue. Portability and security kind of intertwined with gold. Gold is heavy. Gold takes less security. Gold takes a lot of planning to move it from place to place. Even a gold bar, I think that's around 40 pounds. It's about 500 ounces in that ballpark. Looking at a ballpark of $1 million for a gold bar. Now I think it's really like $750,000, but regardless, if you have 2 gold bars, you're carrying over $1 million. Now you can carry 2 gold bars and you can actually put that in the trunk of a car, sure. But would you feel comfortable doing that? Would it feel safe to you? I mean, I might even feel safer just carrying the paper money at that point, but I digress. Neither way feels safe to me. Much rather carry cryptocurrency or move cryptocurrency because it's much easier and safer to transport. So Bitcoin wins the transport argument, and it wins the security argument, it wins the portability argument, and it wins the divisibility argument. What other arguments would it make? Let's see. Acceptability, still got gold. And tangibility, still have gold. There's lots of people that would say, for the gold bugs out there, that would say that Bitcoin needs the internet. And for the most part, it does. Now, there are physical Bitcoin. And they're collector's items for the most part right now. But you can make a bid. You can make a paper wallet. You can make a Bitcoin coin. But there are, I'm trying to remember the names. The name is escaping me now. But there are collectible Bitcoin coins, physical, tangible coins that have certain denominations of Bitcoin on it, much like a Ballet wallet would have you could order a Ballet wallet with 1/10 of a Bitcoin on it. You can do that the same with these collectible coins, and I really wish I remember the name, but my phone's kind of busy right now, so I can't even look it up. Okay, so what other, let's see, we got fungibility. Every Bitcoin's the same, even though you can make an argument that, some dollars have been tainted, some Bitcoin have been tainted because of illegal activity. That's happened as before. That's why, with Patrick and myself, we're able to reach out to Bitcoin miners and get brand new Bitcoin, coin that's just been minted, which would be a premium. You would actually, that would be worth more to the right people because it's never been in circulation, right? It's never been tainted it's never been in a transaction that might be questionable. So, but of course, so is cash. So we digress there. So I'm trying to think about the other properties of money. Well, now you get into the modern stuff. Now it's for a digital world. Obviously, digital gold, Bitcoin will win because it's designed for the internet. It's designed to store value and for a means of exchange in a digital exchange for an online transaction through the internet. So that it's going to win that argument. It's also programmable, which can be good or bad. Smart contracts, yes, but you don't want your money to erode value, which CBDCs could be doing soon too. So there's lots of these different properties you need to look at, and let's see, we've got the portability, you get the fungibility, you get the security, accessibility, durability. Okay, gold has been around for 5,000 years, and gold doesn't tarnish, and it stays the way it is for millennia. That's why it's used as a form of money. Same with platinum and silver. While silver may tarnish, it's still silver. Gold is always going to look like gold, so that's why it's attractive. Now, it's not as rare. They think Bitcoin wins the scarcity argument. So Bitcoin, so both of them win different arguments. So Bitcoin wins the scarcity argument because it's the only asset that we know exactly how much it's ever going to be. That's true of Bitcoin, any Bitcoin derivative project like Litecoin or Digibyte. It's also proof of work, so it's converting energy right into value, which is another form of money. That's actually the purest form of money. The idea of money, which I talked about in the How Did Gold Become Money over at Economic Preppers, again over here. Money needs to be durable. Money needs to last. Money needs to retain its properties over time, which allows it to store that value over time. So while I've given the example and many times before where a man's suit has always been an ounce of gold, whether it be in the Middle Ages for a suit of armor or a finely tailored suit now for a couple grand, a suit's about an ounce of gold, give or take, throughout history. So it's held up. When you compare an ounce of gold to something of an equivalent of its value in its time that's been around for a long time, they tend to match up. I've seen the argument for a first class plane ticket round trip from New York to LA. And I think that's been the same since the beginning of air flights, but that's not as long as the history. But you get the idea. So gold has the durability. It's been money for a long time, but Bitcoin is the new kid on the block, but it's got better properties. So that's why it's important to know the properties of money, what's good and what's bad. Where does Bitcoin win? Excuse me, that's the old phone. Still alarms on that. Still working to clear those off. So you've got gold with its properties, you have Bitcoin with its properties, and some win on a digital platform, some win on a physical platform. But combined, they're both the best answer for money that's ever been invented. It's just a matter of what use case you want to apply them to. So, lots said today. I'm going to close the door on the bureau, say follow leader, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.